All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. We have kind of a lazy Sunday on our hands here. And morning, Monkeytron. Not much going on. Um, I've kind of been slacking on something a little bit. Tomorrow, I got a friend's funeral, and I don't know. They're doing it kind of like an hour after the show ends, but it takes a while to get there. So I may do a half show tomorrow. Just been kind of slacking on even thinking about it, I guess. Yeah, so I get out of here at 10. It starts at 11, so I'll probably stop a little early. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it's a shame. Okay, let's get to the markets. And yeah, like I said, it's a bit of a slow time right now. Sunday, it's actually pretty good. We're not getting any massive drawdowns. We've got some pretty low volume here, and we are coming up to this inclining trend line. Kind of same old story there. Hopefully, we'll be able to pop above it. Most everything is kind of still holding. Yesterday, things were starting to curl up. That's still the case. A little bit of a pullback today on quite a few names, but we'll go down the top 20 and kind of see what's what. So BTC holding pretty good. I don't have any new alerts. The only alert that I have is the all-time high right now. Um, Actually, I don't even have that on here. Geez, I'm a little bit behind. So our high is right about there, 64,789. We had all those alerts down here, and I got rid of my high one, which I thought I had up there. And so, yeah, we are pretty close to that. Last time we were at 6,000, actually. We talked a little bit about this yesterday, about how we went through 6,000, and it wasn't a major issue. It's looking a little bit like that. We're just kind of walking up here. Volume is getting a little bit better. We haven't broken the 6,000 yet. Once we did break 6,000, we had an influx of volume. Now it's a slightly different situation because this is a breakdown point, not a high. But I mean, some of the same principles still apply in terms of just kind of walking up here and then hopefully, yeah, 20K was no trouble. Well, we did stall 20K for a little bit, right? No, right here. A little bit of stalling at 20K, but it was kind of the same thing. We did have, I guess, volume was a little bit better walking up into 20K. We're in a different situation where maybe a little bit more like 40K here, but we don't have. It's just a small base. We don't have this very large base. This is somewhat unique in Bitcoin. I mean, we can go back to and find some of the old Bitstamp. Yeah, I think charts aren't in the same order since I obliterated my chart order. So okay, Coinbase. There we go. Okay, so there's Bitstamp. We can take a look at kind of on the way up here. We had a little bit of a bobble here. That turned into a cup and handle. Actually, arguably, don't we still kind of have a cup and handle right now? That's a pretty big cup and handle. So, yeah, and so when that one broke out, I don't think we were as 55 days. I think we're past 55. I could be wrong. I'll go check in a little bit. This one lived under resistance and then just popped up, had a more traditional breakout, even though the volume was less. I'm not quite sure. Hey, what's up, Matty G? I'm not quite sure what if this was the best exchange back then. So this may not be the right this may not be the right particular candle to be looking at for a breakout volume because it's the wrong exchange. But anyway, the point remains that in a breakout, this one kind of walked up and then it had a breakout. We may do something like this, these consolidations. Let's go check out those 55 days. Pretty sure we're well past 55 days. Oh, yeah. We're at 6 months essentially. We're at 6 months. Third. I was gonna let it slide, Maddie. I wasn't gonna call you out on it. But hey, you know, um, there you go. Anyway, I mean we're really close to that, but let's go back to the Binance, which has the most volume, and we can see our volume here is a little bit better, but we're not running for the fences. We definitely want to see some volume increase as we go up, and especially because most of these alts are looking a little better. Hey, what up, Batman? All right, let's take a look at. Let's walk down the stack here. Let me see. Hold on a second. Uh, Fix my chart. Yeah, so out of the 64 alert, And then I don't know if I need to add another one at 62. I mean, it seems pretty close. Bitcoin has been extraordinarily stable. You may, I mean, we could obviously have a little pullback at any time, but it's just doing good work here. This is just good work. Look at the daily time frame. That's yesterday's volume. That's about half, just under half of the prior day's volume. That would probably be half. So we're just a little bit below there. Um, and today we may or may not exceed yesterday's volume, just depending on how the day ends up with the East Coast stuff futures opening later today. So that could bring an increase in volume, but pretty low volume up here. Kind of happy where we're at. We really didn't move yesterday much at all, and we're doing really good. All right, next up is Ethereum. And we got Ethereum up here coming down a little bit from our 40-20 in this very large cup and handle that Ethereum is forming. Also pretty low volume. We really need that influx of volume. We saw down here, especially on the BTC chart, volume can step in very dramatically when it wants to on ETH. So be on the lookout for that alert level if it does break out. All right, next up is Hex. And Hex taking another little bit of a leg lower. Big bottom right there, but we're just living down here at the moment. So Hex respecting my trend line in terms of getting obliterated a little bit. Not looking. I don't think it's dead. We haven't had any extraordinary distribution up here, but a trend line break like this implies a much larger consolidation. That's what Hex is in the middle. Starting is what it looks like. BNB. Darn it! I didn't adjust my damn list. All right, BNB holding up here at the 438.4, holding above that. The wick yesterday, not a major issue. This really isn't much of a structure, and BNB's been doing pretty good. It's in the upper half of this wider range, so it's definitely in the better column. So we'll see how that goes. Actually, we could probably adjust that trend line, and you can see what we're fighting with right now. We are above the trend line, which is good. We're holding above it for the most part, so that's a win. And we'll see what happens there. I don't know. Probably just a market sell order or something. And these markets are really efficient, which is why we generally don't get those, those same crazy wicks that we used to get back in the day, because they're pretty efficient markets. The arbitrageurs have stepped in. All these market makers, just name it. The efficiencies to traditional financial markets have jumped into crypto here pretty quick. All right, next up is ADA. And that's Cardano. Cardano sideways choppy and has been this way for a long time. Not much to see here. Forming a little more of a symmetrical triangle now that some time has passed. We talked about this the other day, but it's looking a little better today. That's a little better. Technically, that should I don't know about most symmetrical triangles, but we'd like to think that they're continuation patterns. So this may end up moving to the downside, but it's probably going to move with the market. Let me update some alerts here just in case things get froggy. And yeah, let's just go right there to the 228. All right, 228 there for Cardano. Hopefully beat to see all-time high this coming week if the weekly close above 60,000 on Binance. Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin looks really, really good. The only weakness is the volume, and let's be clear, that can be a large weakness. So, but Bitcoin has just held up, and it's really done what it's supposed to do. We'll take a look at that a little closer later, maybe. Look at the volume, see if there's something suspect about it. All right, next up is XRP. XRP choppy. We have the 121.97 alert we added yesterday. Also still holding up against this support. All is good. Next up is Sol. And Sol tried to get up on the overnight. Now we're back down a little bit. Volume a little low. Nothing crazy, but we are breaking a little bit of resistance to 155.52 from a small cup and handle the other day. That one worked out, and we are still playing with this trend line. So everything we talked about yesterday is still valid today, at least with most of the ones we've seen so far. I think Uni's still doing okay, even though it's down 3. Next up is DOT. DOT 3866, holding up. This has been one of the more bullish coins lately. It's really close to all-time highs. I think Bitcoin is the only thing that's closer to all-time highs, but DOT is, remember we had the interview with the guy and he said that DOT's next up. DOT looking like it is. So keep an eye on this one. Excellent volume down here. A bunch of good green volume pops. Really, really good. So today, though, looks like it's just flopping around. Next up is Doge. And Doge also flopping around a little. Of course, I look down. It doesn't change the coin. That's weird. 26.29 for Doge. A little bit of stability here. There's so many alerts on this thing. It just really hasn't done much of anything. Let's just get rid of some of these just to clean things up. Get rid of that one. Get rid of the just some of those. That was a good lower alert, actually. These alerts worked out pretty well. Don't always do that, but, you know, down really low volume. That was, I'll keep that there. That was a good one. That was good. Those are valid. I don't know what that is. 32. So you have this 26.29. So that clears it up enough, I think. These were valid structures on the way up. That's a little symmetrical triangle looking thing, but it did shake you out. But, you know, anyway. Doge choppy. Not much going on here until it does try to break that. And then I think you have a potential it may try to move up. We never quite know though. You bought Doge because you know it'll pump at some point. Yeah, you could say that for most of the cryptos. I mean, in reality, I mean, pretty much everything. If the market goes, it'll start to go up at some point. I'm sure Shiba at some point will start going back up. Yeah, it's a catch-22. It's one of those. Sometimes you think you're doing the right thing, and sometimes doing the dumb thing ends up working out. So, I mean, Doge from obviously way down here. That was the dumb thing to hold, and see how that worked out. So can't blame me too much for that, as long as it's, you know, not a major position, and you're staking a lot on that. All right, next up is Luna. And Luna still stuck in this little flag. Bit of a bear flag situation, unfortunately. Luna was trying to hold the market up till Bitcoin decided to say, step aside, Luna, I'll go ahead and take care of it. So BTC taking care of it now, and Luna is just chopping around at the moment. It'll get healthy again at some point. Luna is the other side of a stable coin, and so that stable coin is being adopted by a bunch of other layer ones. That's one of the reasons Luna's been doing pretty good. All right, but not much going on here. We have the 4107. That still seems like a pretty good level. Resistance right there. A little bit high, but it'll do for now. All right, Uni. Uniswap, yeah, holding up pretty good. Trying to fight with that trend line still. We're beneath it at the moment. So Uniswap breaking this trend line, coming down from the high. Attempting a reversal, stuck in the middle of its range. It's actually up a little bit from the middle of its range. That's probably the middle of the range. So we're doing pretty good. Couldn't go lower. High volume bottom. Actually, no, the high volume came in there. So, yeah, never mind on that one. But reversed up, and now we're still up. So nothing too bad. Uni's been a tricky one. It's had a couple of good days, but hasn't been able to sustain much. That'll change at some point, though. The whole market everything has its day. Okay, next up is Litecoin. Litecoin lower today, actually greatly outperforming BTC to the downside. BTC is almost flat at only down 0.2. This is down 1.3. Volume not very bad though, pretty low volume. So this could bounce back at any time. 185.30 alert for Litecoin. Next up is AVAX. And AVAX down under the 58.53. You could probably lower this down a little bit. 62.46. I know we have that 58.53 right there, but that's the better reversal in my opinion. Where are you at, AVAX? 62.46. All right, this was an older alert. This is small resistance. That's much bigger resistance. You can see in the daily time frame. How'd yesterday's volume end up? Pretty good. Yesterday's volume did end up, wasn't quite a pocket pivot, it looks like. But it was a stalling candle, unfortunately, so hopefully it'll stabilize out here and won't undercut this. If it undercuts this trend line, then very likely much bigger consolidation. But I guess it depends how it does it. If it can hold above this low at about the $50 level, I think it'll be okay. Maybe we'll give it to this $49 level, 48.94 right there. And if it breaks that, could come down as, I mean, here's another horizontal here, and just a lot of different places for AVAX to find support down here, it looks like. All right, next up is SHIB. And SHIB sideways, not doing too bad, although we're not bouncing. So we lowered this alert level. I'm just going to leave it there for now. That is looks like a pretty good resistance point. And we'll just leave that there for the moment. But not falling apart is definitely better than falling apart. You sold before the rally, Monkeytron? In Doge? Dang. It's so tough, man. It's so tough to know, like, some of those little ones, you hold them for a long time, then you ditch them. I had that's never happened to me before, except for one time recently, was Plug Power in the stock market. I held that for a long time. Hey, what's up, Ian? No, it's actually an accidental public one. It's kind of half public because some announcements went out. Um, I copied the public one to make for my new ones, and I have to adjust those. So, guys that got in, there you go. Good. There you go. Got in a public show. All good. I could have changed the link, but that's kind of dickish. Speaking of Link, next up is Link. All right, Link 2810. Failing from that a little bit. Was trying it yesterday. Pretty good volume there. Unfortunately, that ends up kind of being a top. It's not a kind of top that is a textbook one, but it just ends up undercutting a little bit of support here. Now we're just chopping around again on Link. All right, next up is Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash also chopping around, playing with the support here at the 611.17. Nothing crazy going on there. Next up is Algo. Pretty boring stuff today for the most part. Algo with a 188.15 was trying it on the overnight sesh, and we are still underneath it. So we're just going to keep the alert there, move on. Next up is Matic. And Matic with a 160. That level has been held as resistance so far. Bit of a cup and handle. This is arguably still a valid cup and handle, even though it's very awkward and very short term. Yeah, nothing crazy good. Just gotta wait for the breakouts. All right, so let's go ahead and wrap up the top 20 USD. I would say basically right now we're just in a holding pattern, and I'm hoping that we're gonna hold and go up. Looks like BTC just went positive on us. I'm hoping we're gonna hold and go up. Everything is doing okay. The past couple of days have been more bullish. Really would like to see volume step in as we try to go up. That would be that's what we need. We need volume to come on to give us some confidence. Otherwise, it still could go up with lack of confidence. So I don't want to be bearish at all. I am staying of the bullish mindset. Bitcoin's so close to highs. We're less than 10% away from highs. I mean, we're right there. Could we double top? Yes, we could always double top and roll over. We talked a little bit earlier about volume and how we need some volume. I mean, we do have some good volume spikes, increasing, stepping in here, which is what we'd like to see. And we'd like to see a little bit more. I'd like to see average volume ideally start to increase a little bit. Doesn't have to increase dramatically, but ideally a little bit. And Bitcoin's doing all the right moves so far. So yeah, I definitely want to stay with it. The alts. So what we've seen lately is it's been Bitcoin altcoins, and we'll see. I mean, I would assume that would be the cycle that stays in place. And then we talked the other day. Mike brought up the cycle after Bitcoin ended in 2017 where the alts rallied, and we have seen that enough times that is a possibility. So even if we see some topping signals on BTC, and keep in mind, guys, we're really looking out for topping signals this time because this may be the end for this cycle as we get up higher, because we've seen two parabolic pumps going back to our theory right here. Okay, that's not it. Where the hell is it? There it is. Going back to this theory that we have, we're going to have a one pump, two pump, three pumps. So that may end the cycle. So when we get up there, some tough decisions all around have to be made. Are you going to hodl possibly all the way back down? Are we going to change? We've already changed behavior during this cycle. Are we going to change behavior again and maybe not, have a massive drop this time around because there's a lot more institutions involved? It's going to be a lot of interesting conversations coming up. So in the next, couple of months as we hopefully go on this next parabolic run, which hopefully we're already starting. So yeah, it'll be interesting, but I think these are the questions to ask yourself: is what do I do when Bitcoin gets towards 100, 150,000? Do I try to roll it into some alts once it looks like it's topping? You know, those are good questions to ask, especially early on. All right, next up is USD pairs, and really the only one I had up here was FTM, which for some reason has been alerting like mad. I'm not quite sure why, but FTM. This is a nice look to this chart. So here's a good example. Here's a good example of how to handle an ICO. To be quite frank with you, I mean you got a lot of different ways to handle it. I will say with these layer ones, you never quite know which one is gonna go out. Usually they all end up having some kind of a run, right? I mean that's one perspective. Is if you see a layer one have a good move up, then just stay with it, I guess. But it'll probably have to have multiple more position sizes than a traditional trader would. But yeah, FTM down here from 0.006 to $2 is pretty amazing. But having a nice little bull flag on it right now, coming out of a small consolidation or a cup, and then moving right into a bull flag, and now we are trying to move out of that bull flag. And we had the 206 level waiting for that. We lowered that alert. That worked out really well. And now we are up here. Volume has increased a little bit and picked up for a weekend pretty good. Hopefully the week will bring better volume. We had great volume over here as we try to move through this lower level. FTM doing everything right. All right, next up is actually let's look at its market cap. This market's kind of been in a malaise right now. This has got to be moving up pretty quick. Number 34. So at 5.8 billion. So if we go up by 50%, you're looking at 7.9, which would put you towards the top 20. And the way FTM is going, it's probably going to get there at some point. Yeah, we'll look at layer ones later. We'll look at layer ones later. All right, next up is BTC pairs. All right, auto. I wanted to look into this one. I noticed a nice bull flag. Didn't notice it yesterday, but I noticed it today, probably due to the higher low here. Pretty nice on the daily. It's not great. It really hasn't had any runs. It's a recent kind of a coin. Let's take a look at auto and just see what it does. I'm not familiar with it. Oh, it's auto is auto. It's like a note. Is that a note, a key, or an F? I'm not quite sure. All right, the all-time chart, we have much higher highs on auto. So that's a bit of an oddball. So recent listing on Binance, probably where all this volume stepped in, and Auto Farm Network. Oh, Auto Farm. Oh, that's what the F stands for. Okay. Total lock value 966 million. That's actually pretty good. That's not too bad. Auto tokens are fully minted in 5 days. Get them while they last. More details here. What's that about? No pre-farm nor pre-sale minted linearly starting from December 15th, 2020, because I read dates differently than everybody else. Will end approximately October, so 5 days. To ensure the distribution of auto, only vault users will be able to mine auto tokens in addition to the yields from auto compounding vaults. Interesting distribution model. 75% looks like it goes to public probably during this phase that is coming to close. Team only 12%. That's not bad in terms of tokenomics. Reserves for whatever that's for. Okay, so that is Vault Token Mining Program. All right. I mean, pretty straightforward and transparent tokenomics. I got to respect that. What's the market cap on this thing? 514. So this is pretty low ranking. Good total value locked. That could change dramatically though if they try to unstake after the lockup period though. How am I judging locked value? Just by what I see around. Really, I don't have a major. I'm not, massive into the DeFi, but I'm definitely getting more educated on it. Um, all I know is that most of your better projects will have over 500,000 in total value locked. Why is it important? Um, it's important because this is the liquidity for these markets, is what it is. So, and again, I'm not the ultimate um, not the ultimate authority. There you go. That's the word I'm searching for. I'm not the major authority on this topic, but yeah, if your total value locked is significant, and there's a couple of things going on here. Some of this value locked is set in staking contracts with an expiration date. Some of it is not, so they can withdraw at any time. And when you have something like this on auto farm, what I was referring to just a little bit ago is that okay, well this ends in 5 days, right? 5 days and 16 hours. Well, if they get their auto and then they withdraw all their assets here, then that can be a problem. So you're taking a risk um, by holding this kind of through that time period right there. I don't know if a lot of people understand that or not, but I mean, so you look at some of the APRs here. So 11% for auto itself, and then you have some of these paired, adding liquidity pools here. 22 million here, 5 million here. There you go. USD TCBUSD DAI BLP. What's a belt? 153. So that's a good amount. Belt BTC, so you can stake BTC and get 6%, ETH and get 7%. Um, so there's so many of these like auto farms, so many farming stuff out right now. It's crazy. But yeah, so I mean, so to lock up your BTC, so here's IB and B. So they have Belt and IB. I'm not quite sure what the difference is, but you can see some of the. So if you got B and B staked, you can get 45%. I mean, that's freaking good. Uh, B&B versus Belt. So these liquidity pools are a lot more, and I don't have all the answers to this. Um, if one of these goes really high or one of these goes really low or whatever, if they don't stay consistent, you can lose value because this is a pair. Almost similar to like buying something and trying to get more BTC value. Try to buy, I don't know, Decred, which has just been on a horrible garbage run, and try to get more BTC value. That's essentially buying this pairing. So it could go one way or the other really, really drastically. Okay. All right. So Auto Farm looks like 1,200 bucks per Auto Farm, 966 million. Pretty good there. And I do like this little, it's just a little flag kind of got me into that. Pepper him with questions. There's a lot of DeFi guys in that course. I'll definitely get some clarification on that for sure. Anyway, so I mean, let's look at the volume here on auto. I mean, really good right there. Obviously, some distribution there. Not as bullish as I'd like to see, but I saw the bull flag and thought I'd look into it. And yeah, it's looks like an interesting token. I mean, things are fast and responsive. Looks somewhat professional. Tokenomics of it is very straightforward. That usually means a good thing. There's other stuff you could do. There's something called rug pull or rug doc, rug doctor. Yeah, rugdoc.io. If you're interested in getting into any of these, we can probably search auto. So this is kind of an open source community. Like literally the whole community is open source. You can search auto. So auto farm, here it is. Low risk. So low risk of being rug pulled. So these guys go through the code, they go through everything, and they try to do their best to give everything a ranking. It's a free resource. I just learned about it the other day, actually. So low risk for auto farm. And I guess that's all they get. Some of these you get, I don't know. It's all kinds of weird technical shit goes on here. It's pretty cool. There's gonna be all kinds of stuff here. I haven't fully gone through this website at all. Apparently medium risk is bad. You don't want to do medium risk or high risk or anything like that. So if something's high risk, there's probably some code back there that they can just withdraw stuff from staked addresses, or they can change different variables. So they can remove liquidity. Because I mean, you know what the rug pull is, right? The rug pull is where you deposit money into Auto Farm, and then they'll just remove it all, literally just steal it. Or what they'll do is they'll give disproportionate penalties if you want to unstake, but in the middle of your stake. In other words, they can change all these variables on the fly, or they can just steal them all together, or addresses aren't properly secured. I mean, there's a number of things. You're giving your money to someone using these pools. So this is really a nice resource to have for the most part. Yeah, it's a little bit scary. You know, that's why you don't put all your eggs in one basket. This is becoming a bigger part of the space. So it's almost like, you need to have some portion to HODL, some portion to trading, and some portion to yield farming. It's almost becoming like that because this is such a broad part of the ecosystem now. And like I said, I'm learning more and more about it. I'll probably do some public YouTube videos on it actually, since learn some more stuff. Get me back on YouTube again. All right. So that's auto. Looks good technically. Fundamentally looks good. Like I said, that lockup period ends in 5 days. If you're trying to get some of this mined auto, trying to mine auto. All right. Next up is Ethereum. And Ethereum, get rid of that right there. There we go. All right, so Ethereum kind of going through the motions right now. Nice pop up yesterday. Unfortunately, we're kind of all the way back down, but we're holding that as support. This has just been a little bit choppy, and I wanted to touch on it today. Hopefully, we just hold above the trend line. We don't go back lower, but we'll see what happens. If Bitcoin starts rocking, then obviously Ethereum just take that risk of getting back down here. That's about 10%. Keep in mind, this is against BTC, so you're losing BTC value. If that's something you're underconsoned about, in the bigger picture with Ethereum, we're hoping that this consolidation is just that, and we can reverse higher. Here we undercut significantly, had a lot of volume down here. This is where that volume just really stepped in supporting Ethereum. It's got a lot of ETH down here, and good results from there after that massive support. So good stuff on that chart right there. But over here, it's a little more suspect as we're in this base. And, some people don't like their BTC value to drop at all. So this may be a bit of a concern. If ETH can't keep up with Bitcoin, then, you have a decision to make on that one. Next up is GTC. And I always forget what this thing does too. But this thing getting a nice pump. Ooh, even during the show here. Really nice pump. Coming up, our alert is at 12,937. We haven't talked about this one much. That's also pretty much in line with its IPO breakout. Let's take a look at GTC again. Gitcoin. This is the weird one where you basically get paid to code other projects. Is what it is. I'm not sure much more about that one, but that's basically what it is. But I mean, that's a really good volume signature. Kind of came out of nowhere. A bit of a flag here. On the daily, it wasn't. I usually look at the daily, and I missed that signature right there. But hard to be super bullish on that. But good volume right there, not too bad. There was nobody on it when we looked a while back. On GTC, you mean? Yeah, it was pretty thin. Yeah, no projects, you mean, right? There's a couple of them, but it's hard to yeah, you view the leaderboard. I think this is what we did. So you have maybe like, there you go. The top 30 people is $9. Yeah. So I mean, it's crypto. I mean, stuff's gonna pump at random intervals. This one may be coming up. Our alerts at 12,937. All right, next up is Clay. This is another layer 1 if I'm not mistaken. And Clay here with a 1668 alert level, as it did have a huge pump the other day and just died. And we're like, well, that may be dumb, but since it's put in a nice consolidation here. So we'll see. It hasn't completely died, but it came all the way back down, and I guess forget that never happened and try to go for it there if it breaks the 166. But good volume in that prior 2-hour candle. That is a massive, massive candle on the 2-hour compared to recent history. Not this massive, but big enough. Hopefully it'll stay with the accumulation and ditch the distribution. All right, next up is NU. Keeping tabs with NU, which is actually a pretty interesting project. 18632 is the alert level that I have for that one. We mentioned it may try to go up. Did a little bit, but just a little bit. And now we have right back down to kind of vapor volume here, and we'll see how we end up right there. But that's a pretty low alert for that one. And next up is Torn. And so Torn here has an all-time high breakout at 87.5. I think this is Tornado Cash. It is Tornado Cash. So this is privacy, a little bit like Monero, I think. Or is it a smart contract? So it's just it's kind of its own swapping platform, I think. Yeah, you deposit and then you withdraw, something like that. So Tornado Cash, pretty good there, and it's kind of creeping up here a little bit. The 87.50. If we go back to the all-time chart, you can see here it's down significantly from 400, but pretty good volume pops right there. Maybe it'll have a go for it finally. All right, guys, that's all I got for the coins. Give me a couple minutes. I'll be right back, and then we'll step into all the other stuff in the ecosystems. Hold on a couple minutes. All right, sorry about that. My kid got a hold of me. Okay, where are we at? We're gonna go look at stuff. Kyber Network West Coast. It's KNC. Kyber Network. That's an old school one. Yeah, we can look at that. Is it KYC? KY KNC. Hey, this is old school. V2. Oh, Legacy. So they must have done some upgrades or something like that. Jeez, I don't know how to write time anymore. Let's see. 252. Jeez. This has calmed down. KNC used to be big. Hey, what's up, Farhan? Let's check out KNC. Check it out versus BTC, which will probably look like garbage, and it does. And then KNC USDT. Symmetrical triangle. This I'm assuming West. This is what you're referring to. This one. Yeah, maybe. The question is, does it never have the cachet to pull out of such a structure? Kyber Network is generally not new technology. This has been around a while. Yeah, yeah, it's old school. Yeah, symmetrical-ish Monkeytron. Exactly. Here's a good graph of DeFi. Looks like some DeFi stuff in general. Maybe this is specific to KNC, but so you got retail LP tokens, professional market makers, LPs from external sources. Somehow they do that. Bridge protocol. Pretty cool. It's not a bad one. Build with Kyber. Yeah, symmetric. This isn't really a symmetrical triangle. I was giving Monkeytron a little bit of shit over this the other day. Something like, yeah, it's not really symmetrical, but it's squeezing. That's the general point here, though. It's kind of squeezing to a point. The top trend line is the important one. The bottom one doesn't mean too much unless it breaks down, in which case you're probably not buying anyways. Um, Entry looks good. It's no, I don't think so. It's not something I'd be interested in. Um, for actually a number of reasons. Number one is KNC is an old school coin. Very, very few of these old school coins actually run. Most of them, I mean, Waves is probably the big exception to that. That's because Waves kind of adjusted a little bit. I don't think they changed what they did. KNC here's been around forever. They did have a fork at some point, so this is a new one. Um, OMG's doing pretty good. Oh, yep. But they're not. I don't think OMG's doing that good. Their market cap is way down. They used to be. OMG was, if I remember right, top 20 for a while in 2017. It's nowhere near that today. So, but yeah, so something like this, just because it's in a triangle doesn't mean it's good for entry. See that's kind of a misnomer that a lot of people, once you start to learn a little bit about technical analysis, you really start to look for those healthy movements. You'll notice this pattern all the time. You'll notice this pattern all the time. And what'll happen is that, I mean, first of all, anything can happen, but this move down into the lows here, that's about 20%. Are you going to hold through a 20% drop if it gets back down to this support, right? So right here, you're not looking at breaking out. It's not pointing that direction. It's not really setting up for that. Um, it's kind of drooping over, going lower. Like it's not a bullish setup, right? If I were to invert this chart, see, that looks a little better. We're coming off of lows, a little bit of horizontal resistance, and we're hoping to break that. But right now we have the opposite of that. It's looking to break down. So you don't want to buy here, especially considering the fact that you're instantly jumping into basically 20% risk with unknown reward. I mean, if it never breaks this trend line, your reward is 8%. So then you're taking a negative risk reward ratio. You're willing, this particular trade says I want to gain 8% by risking 20. That's really not what you want to do. Um, so yeah, I don't like this basically on any level. Not even not even trying to joke it up. If it breaks up to the trend line, that's a whole different story. Sure, yeah, if it's breaking to the upside, see here it had an opportunity. Let's take a look at this one real quick. So here it had an opportunity. You had a nice, this wasn't too bad. You know, you're like, okay, I could see, you know, we broke down a little bit. There was a different trend line here. Then we kind of broke that to the upside. We had a nice run. Now we have a cup. So when you have these cups like this, you're like, okay, cool, let's go. Well, there's your breakout point, and it, you know, I'm a little bit low on that, but there's your breakout point. Tries a little bit, but just can't do it, and then absolutely gets obliterated. Undercuts the low of the structure, and so now you're like, okay, there's no support down there, and you end up with whatever this is. Actually, it could be inverted head and shoulders pattern. And I think it would be valid. So in this case, noticing this particular structure, that is your line right there. So if you're going to view this as an inverted head and shoulders pattern, you have a couple of options here as well. So with an inverted head and shoulders pattern, you're looking at a couple things. You're looking at the right side low so far as this level. If you get down towards here on low volume, that may be something interesting to, to take a position on. Past that, your breakout point is this line, and you can see you're a little bit below the half point mark in this range too, but you're pretty close to the middle. So there's still no major risk reward ratio here. You're a little bit, you're just too much in the middle. So this point, so here it dumped and came back with a big wick, right? But even that one was more in the middle. That's a 6% stop loss for like an 8% gain. It didn't quite get there. It only got to 6% before pulling over again. But you can see when you're looking at risk reward, that's kind of what you're looking at. Okay, where has it recently found support? Now with an inverted head and shoulders, this should be a more firm support with this particular structure. This should be a more firm support. So if you do get down here on lower volume, and we have some decently low volume here today. Yesterday was above average. So yeah, keep an eye on it, but you can, if it comes here and you see some bouncing action, you can try to get it. Or if you miss that and then it crosses this line, you can get it there, which is even before this line. And an inverted head and shoulders actually implies a target right here, and it looks like it may get up to resistance before we'll see what happens to it if it gets up there. So, you know, in terms of this particular, that's the story. You're in the right side of an inverted head and shoulders, and that's how you handle this. Period. There's like, I don't know of a better way to handle it than try to buy the bottom or try to buy the breakout. Either way. So I changed my stance. I still wouldn't buy it here, but it's definitely looking a little bit better. Definitely looking a little bit better with this particular pattern. And in reality, I mean, and to your point, where it is in this triangle is at a good place. It's towards the end of this triangle. So it tried to go lower here, couldn't go lower. Tried to go lower again, couldn't go lower. And hopefully if it holds up, then maybe it'll be good to go. You never know. Market cap on it is so low. Yeah, I mean, the question you have to ask yourself with that, and there's no easy way to value market cap. The way that I use market cap, I think I mentioned it a little bit earlier, was that I try to see, okay, if this thing's in an uptrend, what are some peers that it has that have similar market caps, and value it against its peers. So when you look at KNC, I'm not 100% sure where I would really value this because I don't know who its peers. I don't know the peers. I don't know what specific industry group it is. Is it just DeFi? So it's a decentralized exchange, maybe it's a marketplace, it's a DeFi. So it touches on a multitude of different things. Valuing cryptos are interesting. They're kind of like conglomerates. Most of them, especially in the DeFi space, they try to be conglomerates. It's hard to value a conglomerate, just as generally hard to value it. So, SushiSwap, that's it, just SushiSwap. So, that's it, no other peers. You should have a list. You should be like SushiSwap, PancakeSwap, whatever. You should have a list. So if you go to, let's click on a couple of these. So here's Uniswap, PancakeSwap, SushiSwap, ranked 75 and 40. And then KNC is like 300 something. That's why is it not showing up? There it is. Okay, 252. I was thinking it was too low. So 252 market cap, 290 million. The question is, where is it realistic for this particular coin to get to? Oh, and speaking of which, there's our XPR. XPR looks really nice. Do I not have it on my list? I thought I added it on USD pairs. What is it? I already forgot what the hell it is. It's pretty dumb. XPR. Such a weird symbol. No, it's top 20 USD. XPR. Oh, you know what I can do? Did I not add this to any list? Damn it, we were liking this one. Ah, that sucks. Well, we wouldn't have had it versus KuCoin anyways. We were really liking this one. OKEx, Uniswap. Darn it, we like XPR actually. I like XPR. I think it's a cool one. Yeah, there's a lot up here. Anyway, we'll look at XPR in a little bit too. Maybe next. So anyway, yeah, so just figure where it could go, you know. That's about it. It's I don't know too much about it. I haven't looked deep into this one. It's the first time we're looking at Kyber Network, and I don't know if we've ever looked at this particular iteration of it. On-chain liquidity, 5 billion total volume, 2 million transactions. Provide liquidity for DeFi. Provide liquidity for DeFi. Yeah, there's a bit of pumponomics in there too. Monkeytron's talking about. I don't know if KNC has pumponomics. Not too many people are on top of it. But it looks like they got a big ecosystem. They're working with a lot of different of the things out there. Protocol. Yeah, they're kind of all over the place. All right, let's take a look at XPR because, man, we kind of slacked on that one. We really like that, and I don't think I added it to my list. I'm gonna have to do that right now. Yeah, look at that. We were talking about that, I think. Was it this one? Look at that cup and handle, man. That's freaking prime alert shit right there. Oh, you know, yeah, we can't get this on Binance, so I can't alert on it. Yeah, it's on no exchanges, exactly, Monkeytron. But this thing is getting, look at that. Look at it's getting a little bit more volume here. It's looking pretty good. This thing could start to pop up. I mentioned in my newsletter, I think there's a rotation. I haven't identified it yet because I think it's in a lot of some of these smaller tokens, some of these lesser known networks. And maybe KNC, XPR are going to benefit from that. It's definitely a potential of that. So I get this on Uniswap or KuCoin. So I can't alert on this, but this has been behaving really, really bullish. I mean, this is just freaking awesome right here. Really would like to get it off of that base, but up 38%. So, I mean, it could be due for another basing structure. Looks like we already topped a little bit, come back down, consolidating somewhat today. Yeah, this is a good one. Oh, on $300 for the fee? I don't know. I haven't tried to buy anything on ETH. I was playing with BSC for a bit. I haven't done any those decentralized exchange trading in the past, I don't know, 4 or 5 days or so. Just haven't done anything. But this XPR, I mean, there's a lot of these. Okay. Oh, you know where we added it? Here's exactly where we added it. But let's take a look at XPR's website real quick. A lot of people here aren't regular subscribers to the show, and why not? Because we do this kind of crap every day. I always find some pretty good tokens. So yeah, I thought Proton was an interesting blockchain when we took a look at it. I mean, it's pretty fast, 4,000 TPS. I mean, pretty professional stuff here. So I think some of these kind of tier 2 tokens are going to be getting more valuable. And we made a list of them. Let's get rid of some of these tabs. keep Rug Doc up for now. Rug Doc. And use a pretty good one too. Yeah, the blue stage one. Yeah, right. He's crazy. My God, good stage, buddy. All right, let's take a look at these ecosystems. So we were looking at these layer 1 mid small caps. Here we go. So there's Phantom, Tezos, there's Clay, which just got a crazy ass pump. And then that's where we added XPR. So Monkeytron, you got to remind me, we got to look at this more often because we don't have this on our normal charts. I guess I could add it to my chart, but I can't alert on it. So Quarkchain Coin, Tomo, I guess I could add KNC to this. We'll add it. Let's go ahead and add KNC. We always find new ones. Although I'm not sure if KNC is a layer 1, so I won't add it quite yet because I'm not sure if it's a layer 1 or not. We're really trying to stick to layer 1s. This is a layer 1. Casper, Mina, Harmony, Neo, Waves. Quant was doing pretty good there for a minute, kind of stalled out. But XPR, the action XPR is phenomenal. I just love the action, and yeah, 85% over a week just kind of proves my point. All right, so nothing else here really of a lot of value. Harmony's up a little bit, 7.85% today. Looks like we're still chilling down here in a higher low on the 30-day. We do have Harmony against USD pairs. And we had some alerts on it. We're still chopping through those levels, which is why I haven't adjusted anything. We have the 25,918 on Harmony, and all these kind of mid-cap layer 1s. A lot of these have these big uptrends on them. I think they're, when you talk about institutionals buying crypto, this is what they'll do. They'll buy the whole freaking sector, and looks a lot like that. So we need to find some more, probably some more low cap ones as well. Yeah, maybe can't do that tomorrow. Yeah, so for those of you subscribe to the show tomorrow, maybe a half day, maybe a little less actually. It's pretty far away. I don't know. I may not even do the show tomorrow. I don't think I've ever canceled a show last minute. Maybe when I was sick a couple of times, but I don't know. I gotta show some respect to my buddy and his family, and I gotta get to that funeral. So I'll let you guys know. I'll let you guys know. Yeah, AVAX and didn't do Atom. We can do Atom. We can look at both of them real quick. No biggie. Actually, I think I have AVAX on here too. Yeah, here we go. AVAX not doing a whole heck of a lot, really. It is just choppy, still choppy lower down. Holding support. We got to hold that support, as you know. Otherwise, we're in meandering land, kind of like we are with Hex at the moment. Just meandering around for the most part. Hard to have a trend when you're breaking long-term trend lines. And then what did you want? Atom. Okay, so let's take a look at Atom. And then Atom right next to it here. And kind of the same thing with Atom. I mean, it's been okay. We did find support, but we're pretty low on, or pretty far away from alerts. Could argue that trend line, and I wouldn't be too mad at you. Oh, the pulse thing? Let's look into that. You know, I haven't heard, so it'll be a good time to check it out. So I could lower this alert on Atom, because we're pretty high up here. I'm going right here, I think. Level. 3484. So let me adjust that for Atom. All right, 3484 for Atom, and that is no longer valid. Yeah, let's take a look at Pulse. I'm not sure the exact status on Pulse. Last I heard from Bob was that they're going to do the snapshot at some point. And you're not going to get a lot of notice. Pulse chain goals. And so here's another layer 1 that's going to come out. Pulse chain. It's the Richard Hart one. The guy that did Hex. Snapshot is the next thing to happen. Snapshot. When is a snapshot? That's not happening. Let's check on the past like 24 hours. So Richard Hart, from what Bob said, Richard Hart is just going to be, hey guys, we're going to do a. He said if you follow me, you'll be able to get in on the snapshot if you want to move some assets over. Otherwise, it'll be too fast for the people that don't traditionally follow him. So if you're interested in this, I do believe he has a Twitter. I don't think I follow him. Let's find out. Richard. It doesn't look like it. Richard. Oh. Hart. Here he is. 118,000 followers. So he's big, but not too big. You know, he's not that big at all. So I'll follow him just so I can get alerted of it. Let's see. 6 hours ago, everyone cried about gas fees to buy hex.com dips. Yeah. I actually sold out of Hex towards the top there, and kind of glad I did because it's down a bunch right now. It doesn't look like he is talking too much about the snapshot, but that's the next up for Pulse Chain. So there's gonna be the snapshot. Where did I buy it? Oh, the worst possible. I just traded it like a noob, just a complete. I'm not even gonna show you. I'm so embarrassed to be honest with you, but no, I did good on it. Okay, I'll show you. Why wouldn't I show you? Of course I show all my crap. No, I did fucking stupid town, but I hodled. So I bought right here. I bought it's like 18 cents or some shit like that. But like right there. I really FOMO'd in. I really FOMO'd in, but I held it all the way through, and then I sold up here at 42 or something. It had a head and shoulders pattern on it. Hex had head and shoulders. I'm like, okay. Yeah, it's time to bow out of this one, at least with that part. So I got it right about there, somewhere over there. Oh, exchange? No, where was it? Uniswap or Sushi Swap? Uniswap and Sushi Swap. And I do have another hex stake from 8 cents down here. Whoops. Why is my text down there? I got a good buy on this one. I don't know why I FOMO'd on that one so hard. I have no clue. I got it on this red day, this little red day right there. That's when I bought Hex. And I had that staked for a year. So I just took some, I'm like, you know what? Screw it. This thing has gone up so much. I'm just going to stake it for a year. And I don't know. We'll see what happens. I don't know if it's going to get obliterated or not. You never know. But I mean, Hex is designed in a specific way. It's I don't know, hasn't died yet, so tis what it is. But so he doesn't have much here on the sacrifice, or not the sacrifice, the snapshot. And he talks a lot of shit about Bitcoin too. So anyway, yeah, nothing yet. Nothing yet. You got to kind of follow him and to get act. So what he's doing with the snapshot for those of you uninitiated, I'll just talk about that. So the snapshot, what he's going to do is he's going to literally take a snapshot on some block of Ethereum, and he's going to copy the entire blockchain, and that's going to be his basis for Pulse. The reason that's important is that includes your wallet balance. So if you have an Ethereum wallet balance, you will get money on Pulse Chain. Is basically how it's going to go. Now, whether Pulse Chain is a success in the long run or not, I mean, who knows? There's a lot of people don't trust Richard Hart, but it's hard to argue against what Hex has done, and yeah, I mean, it just is what it is. So we've seen a lot of these layer ones go pretty good. Why do you have to get in fast? Well, if you get in, it's not that you have to get in fast. It's that you have to have your balance on the ETH blockchain by the snapshot. So if you do it today, you'll be good to go whenever the snapshot occurs. but you just have to participate on the Ethereum network, and obviously fees are stupid there right now, so you can't be trading too much. But if you wanted to get in on the snapshot, but say you have something in Binance, or you have something in an exchange which is not on the Ethereum network, or say you have something in Phantom or AVAX or DOT or something, and you want to get that money in on the snapshot, you got to transfer that money over to Ethereum prior to the snapshot. So that's why you have to be on top of it. So if you just have money sitting there, it's all good. Yeah, it doesn't even have to be Ethereum. It could be any asset. But the question is, what are those assets going to be worth? ETH is probably the best one to have just for portability. But I mean, you could have USDC. You could have, it'll probably have some Tether on there, but you could have the USD derivatives if you want to be a little more stable. Um, Maybe even wrapped Bitcoin. I don't know. That may be a possibility for hodlers. The problem is that could trigger a taxable event depending on where you live. So be very cautious of that if that is something that you're being very cautious of. So it's just one of those things. It's one of those things. But yeah, I mean, look, if you've got a big Bitcoin wallet sitting somewhere and you want to buy some wrapped Bitcoin and move it over to the ETH network, and then when Pulse gets snapshotted, you move it back over to your straight Bitcoin wallet, as long as that's good for you for tax purposes, then I mean, that's something you could do. I don't know what they're going to do with. I don't know what they're doing with all these assets and Pulse Chain. I really have no idea. It's kind of an interesting way to do things. I'm not saying interesting is good or bad. It's just interesting. Like, if once you have all these assets, like, what are they going to be worth? So he's also going to do a clone of Uniswap and a clone of PancakeSwap. I think there's 4. Bob was talking about them the other day. I don't know if I can find the part of the chat, but yeah, he says they're going to have a clone of. I know those ones at least, and then there may be one more. Yeah, he says he's going to reward. He said he's going to reward Uniswap somehow. Richard Hart said that, so it could be he's going to clone Uniswap or Uniswap wallets or something. I don't know what he's going to do there, but it's the next event up in crypto. You just got to decide if you want to be, if you want to participate in there or not. So, all right. So that's a little bit on Pulse Chain and the swaps. All right, guys, let's wrap it up. Did I miss any other coins? I don't think so. Wait, I think maybe I did miss one. SushiSwap. Yeah, KuCoin is in English with no KYC, Monkeytron. You can do that. Okay. All right, so wrapping up the Power Hour today. It is an interesting day today. Low volume Sunday is what it is, and so Bitcoin's been pretty low volume. Bitcoin's been pretty low volume, and most of the altcoins right now are pretty low volume too. We're hoping for better volume on the week, which opens up in probably about 5 or 6 hours from now. I'm not sure exactly. And Bitcoin's doing good. The alts are holding up pretty well. We're looking for those to rally back on through, but Bitcoin has been in charge, and it will probably stay in charge for the foreseeable future. So, Bitcoin's looking good. DOT's looking good. We had a bunch yesterday that were looking really good. Those are still working. Look at the wrap up for yesterday for those coins. But yeah, that's about it. Things are looking pretty good, and we're just waiting for the next leg up. All right, Tesla. We can look at Tesla for a little bit. Yeah, I mean, Tesla is just ridiculous. They do have earnings coming up pretty soon, on the 20th, as a matter of fact. Oh yeah, I saw that headline too. They made $1 billion on their Bitcoin purchase. Who cares? They're not selling their Bitcoin. I don't think it's much of a concern, to be honest with you. I don't think it's a factor for anything. The factor is the technical action on Tesla, especially the past couple of weeks, right in this area. Just beautiful curl. We are just. I mean, I would not be surprised if we crossed the 900 here pretty quick. Maybe it breaks out on earnings. So there's a funny thing about earnings in the stock market. And I do find this a little bit fascinating. So you have all these big institutions out there that are trying to buy all this stuff to make money, or I don't know what their motivations are. Half of them don't feel like they try to make money. Anyway, they wait for these earnings reports and then they just buy the crap out of it, but they don't buy it before. Here we are seeing a little bit of buying before, and buying before is definitely not an indication that it's going to have a big move up on earnings, but it's, oh, SC for Ken? Yeah, for sure, SC, for sure. Yeah, thanks for speaking up. But something, I don't know, like, is Tesla going to dump 10% on earnings? Like, that'd be a great buying opportunity. But Tesla has been shown, it hit 900, it came down a bit. I understand that, that's fine, but really just lack of distribution on Tesla. And if you look at this accumulation distribution on Tesla, I mean, it's just straight up accumulation, and then you have this kind of broadening wedge, I guess. Then this would probably be the most odd looking diamond pattern of all time on the accumulation distribution, but it's firmly broken out from this. That's just too weird. Hurts my eyeballs. Broken out from that, found support there as well. I mean, they're not letting go of Tesla, and they shouldn't. This is going to be a $13,000 to $25,000 company in 8 years. So whenever that happens. All right, let's take a look at SC. All right, SC is suffering from what a lot of coins are suffering, called middleitis. Actually, this one's lower than middleitis. If you look at the range of a lot of these, that one is underneath the middle point of the range. You do have a little bit of that same head and shoulders pattern feel to it that we saw a bit ago with, what was it, KNC, but your volume signature is wrong. The volume signature was correct with KNC. Here it's incorrect. That being said, I mean, things still could transpire in a bullish way. You could argue if that trend line gets broken, that could be a good thing. Siacoin's another old token. Very, very old token. It's been around for a long time. Haven't looked at it in a long time. Ranked 106. I mean, this used to be in the top 50. Yeah, going back to 2015, this is an ancient token. Absolutely ancient. You could just not a lot of stuff going on with it. Decentralized storage for the post-cloud world. I mean, if this thing was really that valuable, it would probably already be valuable. But I mean, yeah, stuff comes out of obscurity to bounce up, so I would wait for some good technical action. I mean, there's a lot of competitiveness in this space, and they don't even say that they're a decentralized storage token. There's other decentralized storage tokens out there. If you look in terms of sectors, I think the leader is Filecoin. So file sharing, storage, which they're not even including storage for. There's Siacoin and storage, yeah. Double your Tesla now? Always double your Tesla. I don't know. The thing about price action, there's fundamentals and there's price action, right? Like the fundamentals of Tesla are basically undeniable at this point. Anyone that's still denying it just isn't looking or doesn't want to see it. And I mean, if earnings is normal and they're still showing as much growth, they just had the shareholder meeting like 2 weeks ago. Not much is going to change. So I would just get in as soon as you can get in, period. Just don't even hesitate. Just keep buying. Like, you get money, just buy Tesla. Your thoughts started with screw it. There's certain assets you can say screw it with. Tesla and Bitcoin are probably the two most best assets. I would put Ethereum probably in that mix as well. Maybe Sol too. But we don't know how. I mean, Sol's got a good position, but we don't know if it's going to maintain it. But I think Sol's a good one too. Anyway, so back to storage here. You got Filecoin, BitTorrent, Airweave, which has, been not bad recently. I'm not familiar with Holo in terms of storage, and Siacoin. And there's storage. I guess MaidSafeCoin. So, it's top 6, top 5 in terms of its thing. But the whole sector isn't generally running. You look at Filecoin as a leader. If this sector is going to run, now this is what you do with stocks, and most people don't do this with cryptos, and it's a mistake. which is something we do really well, is that we look at things in perspective with their sectors. And so, Filecoin definitely well off of highs here. Not such a good thing. All right, guys, so that's it. I'm bouncing. Anyone got any last minute questions? Otherwise, we'll just watch BTC meander and go sideways, and then hopefully pop up at some point, and then we'll break 64,000, and we'll see what happens after that. But hopefully good stuff. It's looking like we're good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me. Stay safe out there. If you guys aren't subscribed, consider subscribing at real-crypto.com, and if not, I will see you next time at some point. Okay.